During World War II, a man strikes gold, but an army robs him, unaware he's a retired military general. Now, he'll stop at nothing to get his fortune back. Will he defeat the entire army? Let's find out. Deep in the wilderness of Lapland, a former Finnish commando named Korpi has chosen to leave the war behind. With his loyal dog and a horse, Korpi relentlessly pans for gold by a river, determined to find even the smallest sign of success. One day, after persistent searching, Korpi finally discovers a significant gold deposit. Overjoyed, he breaks the large vein into gold nuggets and carefully hides them in his tent, staying awake all night to protect his find. The next morning, he packs the gold and sets off on his horse, followed closely by his dog. As they travel, Korpi crosses paths with a group of Nazi soldiers led by General Bruno, equipped with a tank and a truck carrying kidnapped women. A soldier named Wolf eyes Korpi menacingly, but Bruno prevents any action, sensing Korpi's fate is sealed. Korpi rides on, unshaken by the bodies left in the Nazis' wake. Eventually, a truck of Nazi soldiers stops him, discovering his gold. Anticipating danger, Korpi commands his dog to run, narrowly escaping the soldiers' gunfire. When a soldier calls Korpi Grandpa and tries to shoot him, Korpi swiftly retaliates, stabbing him in the head. A brutal fight ensues, with Korpi using his knife and the soldiers' own bodies to fend off attacks. He brutally beats one soldier with a helmet and disarms another, killing him with his own gun. Hearing the commotion, Bruno and his men return, only to find the aftermath of Korpi's deadly skills. Spotting a gold nugget in one of the dead soldiers' pockets, Bruno realizes Korpi is worth chasing. The Nazis soon spot him on the road, and the tank begins to fire. Korpi urges his horse to gallop faster, narrowly dodging each bullet, but ends up in a minefield. Bruno signals his men to hold their fire, waiting for Korpi's imminent death. The horse steps on a mine, taking the brunt of the blast, leaving Korpi injured but alive. Dazed, Korpi bids a brief farewell to his fallen horse before bracing himself. As the Nazis approach, Korpi quickly gathers the spilled gold. Seeing this, Bruno halts the vehicles, letting Korpi collect the gold to avoid losing his own men. Gold in hand, Korpi grabs a rock. Just as Bruno orders his soldiers to open fire, Korpi hurls the rock at a mine, triggering an explosion that blankets the area in smoke. The Nazis start shooting blindly as Korpi shields himself with a metal plate. After a few moments of chaos, Bruno sends a young soldier to investigate, but the soldier is struck by a mine and killed in the resulting explosion. Bruno orders 2 soldiers to flank the sides, but they too meet the same fate. As the smoke clears, the Nazis realize Korpi is gone. Determined, Bruno sends 2 women ahead as human shields. As they advance, Bruno discovers Korpi's dog tag. He radios headquarters for information, only to learn something shocking. Korpi is a feared commando, known as Kashi the Immortal, with over 300 kills during the Winter War. Despite the warning, Bruno presses on, hoping the gold will save him from Nazi punishment, as they're losing the war. Meanwhile, Korpi stumbles upon a charred truck and uses it as cover, tending to his wounds with a knife and dirt. His loyal dog appears, watching from a distance. Korpi drifts to sleep, but wakes to the sound of approaching Nazis and their tracking dogs. Hiding beneath the burnt truck, he watches the soldiers pass. As the final truck nears, Korpi slips under it, puncturing its fuel tank to disrupt the dog's scent tracking. The Nazis stop to reassess, giving Korpi a chance to flee. But the dogs quickly pick up his trail again, barking to alert the soldiers. A gunshot wounds Korpi's leg, and Bruno releases the dogs to hunt him down. Undeterred, Korpi fearlessly strikes a match, igniting his gas-soaked clothes. The flames startle the dogs, sending them retreating. The soldiers chase Korpi to a nearby lake, where he dives in. Bruno orders his men to wait for Korpi to surface, but his lung capacity keeps him underwater longer than expected. When Korpi finally emerges, the soldiers open fire, thinking they've killed him. Confident of their victory, 3 soldiers take a boat to retrieve the gold. As one soldier jumps into the water, Korpi ambushes him from behind with a knife, and blood surfaces. Bruno orders another soldier to jump in, and again, blood appears. The last soldier, terrified, tries to flee in the boat, but Wolf sees it as betrayal and shoots him. Korpi uses the dead soldier's body as a shield, allowing him to escape while the others shoot wildly. Korpi's loyal dog appears, trying to follow him but is hindered by the water. After hours of trekking, Korpi arrives at a nearby town, only to find it burning in the night. Exhausted, he hides in a destroyed gas station but struggles to rest as pain in his leg brings back memories of losing his family. Just as he's about to sleep, barking wakes him. Korpi emerges to find his dog, but a lit dynamite stick is attached to its collar. He quickly throws it away, but the explosion sends him sprawling. Bruno, Wolf, and Schütze soon find Korpi and tie him to a signpost. Respecting his resilience, Schütze removes his hat, followed by the others. Before leaving with the gold, Bruno mockingly slips a gold nugget into Korpi's pocket. After they leave, Korpi steps on a nail to support his weight and presses his wounded leg onto another, enduring the pain to stay alive through the night. His dog remains faithfully by his side. At dawn, a plane lands near the gas station, shaking the sign and knocking Corpy to the ground. Two pilots disembark to refuel. One finds Corpy and his barking dog, and the other urges him to shoot them. Hesitating, the pilot is taken down by Corpy, who strikes his legs, causing him to fall and die. The dog's barking alerts the other pilot, who investigates, giving Corpy the chance to ambush him with a brick. Believing all hope is lost, Corpy buries the nugget Bruno left. However, the second pilot begins to stir, revealing he is still alive. Corpy, recognizing the pilot's usefulness for his aircraft, reclaims the gold and formulates a plan. As the pilot watches in shock, Corpy methodically removes bullets and debris from his wounds, cauterizes them with fire, and stitches them up using wire, cleaning everything with gasoline. They leave together in the plane, reluctantly abandoning Corpy's loyal dog. Later, Nazis come across the crashed plane, blocking their path. Wolf and Schutze cautiously approach, finding the pilot dead with Wolf's rope around his neck. Bruno quickly realizes the trap and he orders his men to leave, sending 2 soldiers to escort the women in a truck. Aino, overhearing their conversation, laughs and tells them that Corpy isn't immortal, he just refuses to die. They call it sisu in Finnish, an unwavering courage and determination. She predicts that the Nazis are doomed. Suddenly, one soldier dies, and the other is yanked from the truck and crushed by a tank. Aino reaches for the fallen soldier's weapon, but Corpy boards the truck first and hands it to her. Recognizing they are prisoners, he lets Aino keep it. He kills the driver by stabbing through the truck roof, letting Aino take the wheel. They steer the truck close to the tank, allowing Corpy to leap onto it. Inside, the crew becomes suspicious, but the girls deceive them with the dead body. Aino drives alongside another truck filled with soldiers, and the girls open fire, killing them all while Aino eliminates the driver. The truck crashes off the road, catching the tank crew's attention. They speed up, but Corpy, now atop the tank, smashes the hatch with his pickaxe. The tank halts abruptly, throwing him off. Wolf emerges, ready to shoot, but Corpy climbs back on and they engage in a brutal fight. Both eventually fall to the ground, leaving Bruno and Schutze in the tank. Corpy lands more blows on Wolf, but before finishing him, 2 soldiers on a motorcycle arrive. Recognizing Corpy, they flee in terror. Corpy seizes the motorcycle and chases the tank. Wolf briefly believes he's escaped, but the vengeful women soon appear. The tank finally stops to rendezvous with a pilot, but there's only room for one person. Without hesitation, Bruno kills Schutze and escapes with the pilot in the plane. Corpy suddenly arrives on his motorcycle and opens fire, only managing to shatter the plane's windows before takeoff. He then positions the motorcycle beneath the plane, gripping it with his pickaxe. Bruno assumes they've left Corpy behind, unaware that the motorcycle is empty. Corpy, hanging onto the plane with his pickaxe, nearly falls off, but clings to a wheel, slowly making his way inside by cutting a hole in the bomb bay floor. Suspicious noises make Bruno investigate, despite the pilot's claim that the plane is simply old. The moment Bruno opens the door, Corpy attacks, sparking a brutal fight. They trade savage punches and kicks, with Corpy showing superior skills. However, his injuries give Bruno the upper hand. Frustrated by Corpy's resilience, Bruno strikes him with a static line, questioning why Corpy refuses to die. As Bruno tries to land a decisive blow with the metal end of the line, Corpy grabs it and connects it to a bomb, releasing it. Bruno falls alongside the bomb. Exhausted, Corpy longs for a rest, but the plane begins to shake, sending him tumbling toward the ground. The pilot, dead from a previous gunshot wound, leaves Corpy fighting for survival. He grabs the gold, straps himself tightly, and braces as the plane crashes into a swamp, causing another explosion. Meanwhile, a Finnish unit braces for an attack when they spot an approaching German tank. To their surprise, it's Aino and the girls, with Wolf tied to the cannon. Atami crawls out of the swamp and reunites with his dog, before making his way to war-ravaged Helsinki. Atami enters a bank, approaches a teller, and empties his satchels of gold on the counter. Speaking for the first time, he asks the teller to exchange the gold for paper money, saying, so the load won't be heavy to carry. The end. Thanks for watching.